Hey everyone, before we start, just a quick trigger warning that there are mentions of sexual assault in this episode when we discuss Indika.
Brothers, sisters, servants of the Lord, Kyrie eleison.
I wasn't expecting that.
Welcome
Do
to...
I need to do like a small chant now? I don't know how that... I don't remember how that goes anymore. I've not been to an Orthodox church since I was like 12.
Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. We're starting thematic because we're tackling something weirdly close to us today. I am, of course, joined by VoleMaulder.
Hello.
And I am VoleOtter.
Hello.
Hi. How are we doing?
We're doing all right.
Cool.
I'm excited to talk about two great games that we played recently.
One great game, the other one was a good game, I would say.
I'm actually very, very excited to talk for a change about a good game.
Yeah, it feels like we didn't start the year very well.
I am so relieved and happy to have that behind us at this point.
Yeah, as said, we're talking about two games today. One is called Still Wakes the Deep, and the other one is called Indika.
Yes.
I think Still Wakes the Deep is going to be some sort of appetizer, because as being a very linear and...
Linear.
What do I say?
Linear.
It's a linear game, not a lot of fat in it. Anyway, like
it is lean. Yes,
true. Yeah,
you're not
I guess
wrong
so.
in that.
It is a game that if we talk about it too much, potentially the surprise of anyone that goes to check it out is going to be taken away. Additionally, I don't think there's too much to say about it. It's a very straightforward game. Indika is a different case that is hard to define and potentially hard to talk about. Well, we'll see what we're going to do. So...
We'll do our best. That's to say that it's not like we don't hold Still Wakes the Deep to high regard. That the length that we're gonna spend on it is not reflective of our enjoyment of the game.
It's not at all. Still Wakes the Deep was a very good experience. I just did not want to spoil things or ruin the experience of anyone that's gonna go and try it out later. Yeah, with Indika, it's more of a theme talk.
Yeah, and there's gonna be some spoilery discussion at the end of the episode, which we'll give ample warning on.
Yeah, we will give a spoiler warning, and in the description you're gonna have the timestamp of where the spoiler talk starts.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, Still Wakes the Deep.
I was pestering you. I was nudging you for several months to play that game.
Yeah. So what is... So, Still Wakes the Deep is a game about Scottish dwarves that delve too deep and too greedily, and they awoken the Balrog. Oh shit, that's Lord of the Rings. No, it's about Scottish people on an oil ring digging too deep and awakening something.
I don't know if they dug too deep, but something happened. They dug into something.
They dug too deep and too greedily. Sorry, it's hard for me to think about digging and not quote Gandalf.
You should look into that.
Sometimes I think about dogs as well.
That I get more, yeah. What was the place in the Dragon Age called? The Deep Roads, right?
Diggy Hole?
If we're talking about Velgard, perhaps it could have been called the Diggy Hole, and it would have fit right in that vibe.
Do you know a band called Windrose?
No.
It's a dwarven metal band.
What the fuck is dwarven metal?
It's heavy metal with magical dwarven thematology, and one of their songs is called Diggy Diggy Hole. And the chorus says, "I am a dwarf and I dig in a hole."
That is not metal. Sorry to hate to break that to you, but I don't consider that metal.
It's metal.
No, it uses stuff sound like metal, but I don't think that's metal. Anyway, let's move on.
It's pretty catchy as well. Yeah, it's a horror game in case people did not catch up on that. I'm not going to describe what kind of horror game it is and what happens in it. But the setup is that you are a worker way off the coast of Aberdeen, if I remember correctly, or that side of Scotland.
It's in the North Sea.
Yeah. And you are working there, avoiding personal issues, basically.
We should say that it's set in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not present day.
It's not present day, no. And as you are there, something happens and you drill, the rig itself drills into something and unleashes some sort of horrific thing. That's all I think I will say about the story.
That's kind of the first 30 minutes of the game as the setup. Did we say who made it?
It's called the Chinese Room. I think we mentioned them briefly in our year recap discussion.
And that's not to assume that everyone listens to every episode we put out. So yeah, made by Chinese Room. If anyone doesn't know who they are, they've made the second Amnesia game.
Machine for Pigs.
Yeah, at least that's the one that put them on the map for me. I don't remember if they've made anything else. They've made Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which I know you didn't like as much. I like that game quite a lot.
I did not like it. Almost at all, I would say. It was quite boring for me.
I found it very interesting and very quaint, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than Amnesia Machine for Pigs.
I enjoyed the Machine for Pigs game. It was not groundbreaking anyway, but when it created vibes. Thankfully, I think they took a lot of criticism from that game seriously, and they applied it to this. Because Machine for Pigs was very much a run away from Scary Thing game. And hide.
Yeah, as Amnesia is.
Amnesia is, yeah. But it did not have a lot of breathing room between those sections. It was pretty much full on all the time. While in this case, I think they actually listened to people and changed it in order to make it more exploratory, enhance the vibes more in cases instead of just constantly make you shit yourself and run for your life, which I found refreshing. I liked that I didn't only have to run away from Scary Thing, I could also turn the handles and fix stuff and also just interact with characters.
Yeah, it allowed the environmental storytelling and the character development to actually breathe and happen.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about it actually was in the first couple of hours, so it's not a spoiler thing, of you just getting the chance to move around the crew headquarters and just look at what everyone likes and dislikes, to see the posters that they have and the rooms, and that basically just slowly sets up who you're going to be interacting with through the game and what they are like. And so I very quickly had this is the fucking idiot racist guy, so that's going to come up. Or the boss is very harsh and everything, so that's going to be there. This guy likes music and he's a little bit more freedom-y, whatever. So you have this sense of character very early in the game.
Which is a nice way to do it, because I think a problem I sometimes have, it's not so much an issue with this game because you're not really role-playing, you're not making decisions. But in a lot of games, you're thrown into a situation, a context, a narrative, and your character already knows the people you're interacting with, but you have no idea who they are, what they're like. So giving you that opportunity to kind of snoop around a little bit, not in a way that's too contrived, with just giving you letters upon letters upon letters about things. This is, as you said, more like looking around the rooms and seeing what they have on the walls. There are occasional text, but not too much. And then you go and meet the people. So you have an opinion of them, as your character does already. You have a chance to form that before you get to see interactions.
And the character themselves make their own comments, but in a way that's not tell, don't show. It doesn't tell you how to feel. It just shows you like what is the vibe between everyone. How does that character feel? So so immediately, like whenever you look at his interactions with the crew that you are meeting for the first time, you understand where it's coming from, and it takes away this need of like pointless exposition for 10 minutes that a lot of games have.
Oh, yes. Also, I loved how natural all the interactions felt and the exchanges and the conversations between people.
Yeah, it was very believable and human.
Yeah.
It felt like people.
And also points for not making like all the people like stereotypes of Scottishness that we see generally in media. They all felt like real people. It felt like, I can't speak obviously with like a lot of authority because I am not actually Scottish, but I haven't lived here long enough. It felt authentic.
It did, yeah. I think it was Scottish light. I don't think they went very, very hard in it, which is good, I think, for the most part, because it goes away from being a caricature or overly like showy Scottish,
Mm-hmm. It was not Scottish for tourists.
No. The talk, the slang and everything they use is lightened up and cleared up quite a bit. However, they do keep some idioms to still maintain the Scottishness of it all.
Mm-hmm. One other thing I think worth mentioning and highlighting here again is how amazing the audio design was and the music, and how subtly and smartly it was injected into scenes, made a lot of stuff shine emotionally. And also, again, the game itself didn't shy away from being emotional and quite raw on occasions.
It didn't strive go away from being emotional or raw, and also did not shy away from making its characters flawed. One thing that I really enjoyed was that the protagonist is running away from something in his life, and he's just refusing to face it. I'm not going to say what it is because it's slowly introduced in the game as you go on. But it's something that overall, if someone you knew did it, they would come off as very unlikable.
Yeah, it's not very flattering,
No. But the game still manages to make him relatable, likable, and you're kind of rooting for them. You want them to make it through this ordeal.
Yes. That's a great point. Like, there's a lot of flaws in the characters you meet, the character you play, but the game is pretty good, at least from my perspective, at eliciting empathy for all of them. Maybe even the boss. I can't quite say why I'm saying this, but at some point I felt a little bit of empathy for him as well.
Let's say the boss makes some decisions that seem cruel at times, but there's also a lot of there's good reason behind these decisions at times.
Yeah.
Of course, when shit hits the fan and everything goes to shit, and everyone's like fending off for themselves, that may change, but it's all within the realm, within the possibility of how does a human interact in something really fucking bad. And it all felt real. And one thing that I wanted to draw a comparison between this one and another thing is that I wanted to compare it a little bit with Dead Space.
Okay.
Because in this game, you're a mechanic. In Dead Space, you're a mechanic. Actually, no, in this one, you're more of an electrician.
Yeah, you're Sparky.
Yeah, you're Sparky.
You're good with a lecky.
Yeah. Both games have you going between places and fixing stuff. With Dead Space, it goes way more into the chore simulator kind of the game tries to find reasons to make you stick around there way longer, and they don't find good enough reasons at time for me to feel like, okay, this is justified, let me go there. But in this game, there's literally like the game creates a very good sense of the oil rig that you're on and of the map and the environment and how it's laid out. So you understand why you're needed in certain spaces at certain times when this is happening. So while in Dead Space I could feel annoyed by people telling me, "Oh no, you now have to take the tram and go to this part of the ship to fix the oil machine filter, and then go there and change the pulse capsule in the cauliflower generator." It's like you could see when the gears are like turning and the writers are really trying to justify why you should play 12 more hours of this game.
This is why I've not finished any Dead Space games. Every time I've tried, I've bounced off at some point because I've become bored and frustrated with how you need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, hang on, you also need to do that. Oh, now you also need to do that. You also need to do that.
Yeah. I think partially is them just stretching for time, and partially is just not having the writing chops. Sorry. Mm-hmm. I do love Dead Space. I love the game, and as it went on, that those games became worse. But that is a clear flaw for me in this series.
Yeah. Sure.
While here, because the game is more story focused, it keeps it short, and they very well sat down and planned out how their oil rig is going to look and how they're going to move about. It worked. I believed when I had to do stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's one of the greatest strengths of the studio, the believability of the environments. This is why I really loved Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, even though as a game is very light.
You walk too slow in that. You walk too slow in that. I hated that.
Well, I play games very slowly, generally speaking, and I think that game kind of moved at the right speed for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of very subjective. But the world was built very intricately and intentionally, or at least that's what it looked like. I believed it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way how do you move through it? Both these games to bring it back to Still Wakes the Deep.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't backtrack you in a way that felt artificial or forced. It's exactly what you were saying. Like every time you needed to be somewhere to do something, it made sense. You didn't have to go, well, okay, it's a game. I suppose this is what they'll have me do. And a good ending. Very good ending.
Yeah.
I liked it. Worried about how they were going to land it, but they landed it pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. It was a good ending. I'm not going to say more than that. I don't want to say more than that. From a moment-to-moment basis in the game itself, you just kind of you walk around, interact with people, and then eventually you go and fix stuff.
There were a couple of light puzzle elements on occasion, yeah.
But it's quite light, I would say, gameplay-wise. It's more walk between places and then
it's a
run away.
Very well disguised walking simulator that does not feel like a traditional walking simulator.
Yes, the things that you do, let's say, if we are to talk about another game, what was that game that you played in a stream and it had things for you to interact with, but they really felt tacked on and not thought out properly? Also, Deliver Us the Moon failed there. It felt like it was really this forceful, it's a game, you need to do game stuff now.
Are you thinking perhaps of Deliver Us Mars that I played on stream that had this?
No, there was another sci-fi spacey game as well that you played.
Oh,
Return from Grace, was it?
Return to Grace.
To Grace,
I think it was. Okay. Yeah.
So these walking sims that they're really not confident about being walking sims, and they slap some gameplay elements on that they suck.
Yeah,
I think Deliver Us the Moon did do that, and that game that we just mentioned did as well. Here, it did not feel intrusive, and the fact that it was also interspersed with the horror sections, as I said, it was quite alright. I did not mind it.
No. Basically, just to kind of sum it up on both counts, the narrative and the gameplay, this game manages to come across very natural. The interactions, the way it does the storytelling, the way it does the world building feels equally natural and unforced and non-gamey as the gameplay does and the stuff it asks you to do.
Last thing I will say is that the horror vibes were horror vibes. I was quite affected by it, and I found it hard to play through, but also really intrigued, and I wanted to go through it, which is the perfect balance for me when it comes to a horror game. One thing that happens with all these kind of games for myself is that whenever I play them, I cannot play more than an hour and a half before I go like, okay, that was enough. Like I need to take a break from this. But it was strangely effective, and things that were happening around me generally did seem original and scary and daunting and everything right that you could get with this kind of story. So I was very pleased with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I played it on stream and I'm kind of regretting it because I think
I get
some of the emotional stuff would have hit a lot harder if I was just by myself. So that was, even though I still enjoyed it and it was still effective, the fact that I still enjoyed it and it was still effective on stream made me wish I had played it just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a learning experience, just in terms of what games to choose for stream and what to not. But yeah, my playthrough is up on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to check it out.
One thing only that I would criticize from this game, without spoiling stuff, is that the horror sections were very clearly kind of labeled or like clued into you.
Telegraphed, perhaps.
Yeah, like while maybe there was something that could have easily gotten you somewhere that you are, the game was just deciding where, okay, now it's a hiding section, now it's not. And it was telegraphing it, as you said, very clearly, which is good when it comes to people being stressed and everything around, but at the same time, logically speaking, it didn't always make a lot of sense. And it was sometimes taking away the tension of it. While if it wasn't telegraphing it like that, and it was making me feel like threat is imminent, constantly. Like when you enter an area and then it's full of hiding places, shit is gonna happen here.
Yes.
While
yes.
they could easily just trick us,
true.
just put hiding spots everywhere, so we can constantly be like, oh shit, I don't know where it's gonna happen, So maybe that is like the little one that made it easier for me to continue in longer sessions later, because I was very much predicting when things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But overall, pretty good. I really enjoy this game.
Yep.
And I would recommend it to anyone that has the stomach for it.
Yeah, anyone who enjoys this is pretty good stuff.
It's
there was a DLC for it that neither of us has played, if I'm not mistaken.
We have not played it, no. I know that it's available. No, it's not available to me. Well, whatever. We have not played it.
It's available to buy, but like the DLC, from what I know, is several years later. With a different character, you go back to the oil rig to investigate what happened.
Oh,
personally, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need things to be over-explained. It ended on a sweet spot. Probably I'm happy where I am. So
yeah,
we're leaving it.
That's my take as well.
Okay. Now
let's move to Indika. Who recommended this to whom?
I recommended this one to you.
Because I had my eye on it as well, but then you started playing it before me, and then you were, I think I asked you if you had any impressions on it, and you were quite positive.
Yeah.
So that kind of pushed me over the edge of, okay, I'll play as well.
Yeah, I remember I had bought Indika, I think on launch day, like very, very early on. And I wanted to, but, I did not get around to playing it until a bit later.
And then they put it on Plus, and then I played it before you played it, and then I bugged you to play it.
Yeah, well, let me say, the reason why I stopped playing it is because somewhere mid-game, almost, I accidentally created a new game and deleted my save.
What?
Yeah, and I lost all my progress, and I got a little bit annoyed, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break for a while before I return to this, because this annoyed me now.
Is it okay. It sucks that it's possible to do that accidentally
I guess
without realizing.
my main comment on the game is how the menu is, because the first option you get is new game instead of continue. So if you go into it thinking that, like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna press X straight away so I don't lose time, you just press new game and just that's it. You lose your progress.
All right.
So that's what happened. I got a little bit annoyed and I did not continue, despite having been very positive up until the point that I was playing. But I'm not gonna have much more criticism from now on. Cool. So, Vol, introduce Indika.
So Indika is also a game that is kind of hard to define in terms of genre and mechanics. It resembles a walking simulator in many ways, but also not, because it has you do stuff. It also goes some wild places with different ideas, so which I won't name and or describe in detail because they're quite nice surprises when it happens.
Yeah, different ideas, different style completely. They're not afraid to take swings. They're not afraid to alienate, I would say, audiences by being very strange in their approach and
bold.
From a very brief look online, I can see that people were at times less than enamored with this game.
Okay. Gameplay-wise or generally?
Gameplay-wise, story-wise, ending-wise, in general.
Okay.
Of course, we're not going to discuss the ending now.
No. This is going to be spoiler stuff. Don't worry, anyone listening. It's a game that is bold.
Yeah.
Okay, I should mention that it's, for the majority of it, it's a third-person point of view. You control the character, and you see the character. There's some light puzzles and light platforming, and some light chase sequences.
Yeah,
that's what you do in the game.
Between doing some tasks, let's say, that they're giving to you, like one thing, for example, that happens quite early in the beginning, which also thematically we're gonna start as we slowly start entering thematically in what we're going to be discussing with this one. Like sometimes they give you like tasks, like go there, do this thing.
These are not necessarily game tasks, tasks in the world. What is the world of Indika?
So we are in late 1800s Russia.
1900s, I think.
19th century.
Oh, right, okay.
Late 1900s, it would have been 1990, somewhere where I was born.
That's a good point. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Move on. I don't know how time works. As we've established many, many times.
Anyway, yeah. No, 19th century, it is 1800s, no? Yeah. So where I was born would be 20th. If I was born in the 19th century, I would have been 100-something years old. So that did not make sense. Anyway.
No, unless you're a vampire.
I shall not reveal that.
Okay.
I shall not disclose any of this shit. I'm a vampire.
Yep.
I need to watch that movie again. I need to watch that movie
So
again.
what's Indika?
Yeah. So you play as Indika. So the name of the game is the character of the game, the main character. And you're a nun in a monastery, late 1800s. And you're
quite young.
You're quite young. And you're not very liked by the other nuns around the place. You're a little bit naive, a little bit clumsy, and it doesn't seem like you quite belong there. You're certainly different. And the game makes it very clear from the beginning that you're not their ideal co-nun, sub-nun. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if there's like hierarchy or whatever. But you're not the ideal.
It looks like there
is
is some hierarchy for sure.
There is like the main nun, let's say, of the monastery that seems to almost be looking at you mockingly, and certainly hates you. And one thing that is very great about this game, that despite not being big budgeted or whatever, with the animation that they have, they managed to make the characters have fantastic expressions at times.
They did. And the voice acting is amazingly good.
Top notch, yeah. It looks fantastic. And the story basically is that you are this nun in this monastery that people don't like. And they give you a letter. And they tell you need to go to this other main monastery to deliver this letter to them. And like that, you exit the monastery to go into an adventure that does not turn out to be what you may think it may be.
Very early on, it becomes apparent that you have a voice in your head.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like as soon as the game opens. That Indika has conversations with. And eventually, again, not going to spoilers, like thematically here, she is uncertain about the rules in the monastery and the rules of her faith and religion, and she struggles a lot with this. This becomes very apparent by how, she is treated by nuns who are supposed to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes very much in your face and in her face as soon as she leaves the monastery, where she needs the help of someone to cross the river, and he doesn't want to even acknowledge her presence because it's sinful or something. And this continues throughout the game as the personal struggle of Indika.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes across another character who kind of is the juxtaposition of her. And you go through the rest of the journey, almost the rest of the journey together. Is this weird thing where the person who's supposed to be the pious and speaking on behalf of God is the one questioning the dogma, and the other person who's supposed to be the bad person is the one that is unquestioningly defending the dogma and the faith to a nun.
Mm-hmm.
When the nun is the one having questions.
And at the same time, in the whole game, the only person that shows any kind of kindness, any kind of empathy, any kind of care for anyone else is Indika herself.
Yeah.
No one else is nice in it.
Yeah.
They're very horrible people.
Like they're horrible people to other people. They're horrible people to her. Like the way the nuns treat her is abhorrent, in my opinion.
I agree.
It's abusive. It's like petty. There's a lot of power tripping going on between the nuns. And yet she's the bad one.
Yeah. And that is, to me, apparent very early in the game, when they literally, like, they hate her so much. They're like, go just fill this bucket with water. Just go fill this bucket with water. I don't care what you do. Just go fill that bucket. And you have, like, a very boring but poignant section of you carrying multiple buckets of water from a well to that big tub, back and forth. And it takes like something like 7, 9 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know how long it was. But during that, the voice in your head constantly starting to like throw more and more and more and more doubt in what you're doing and what's the point of all this. And when you finish filling up this tub of water, a lady comes and just spills it. Because it just you filled it. She doesn't want it because you filled it.
Yeah, it was. You were supposed to fill the water for the cook nun to cook for the rest of the monastery, and then another nun comes out and sees that you're the one filling up the barrel, and then she spills it and says, "No one's gonna eat from this if she's filled it."
Mm-hmm. later on as well, again within the very beginning of the game, when you said that there's a man that completely disregards her presence, he comes out and spills a bucket of water on his steps, all trying to get you. But her reaction is not like, "What the hell? What are you doing? Why would you do this?" It's more like, "Don't do this. You'll slip." Like it's
Yeah, and she starts cleaning the water off the ice of the steps. Yeah.
Despite the abuse, like she reacts with this empathy and this with this need to help.
That's the thing. She only has compassion for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he treats her like she's an animal.
Yeah.
Which I think is significant in this because, at least from the point of view of that flavor of Christianity that I'm familiar with from where we come from, animals are impure and dirty.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Before we continue and start discussing the themes of this, I think we need to talk about our experiences with this. We're not here to judge Christianity or judge.
Oh, I will judge Christianity. Fuck it.
Okay.
Christianity judges everyone else. It's fair game.
Fair enough.
I'm punching up.
Fair enough. I don't want to make people think that I hate them inherently because they might be Christian. But it does not change the fact that my experience with Orthodox Christianity especially is tainted and bad. I had a very bad experience growing up in an Orthodox Christian environment. We're both Greek. We're Orthodox Christian.
Yeah.
It is very rare for us to see this kind of like dilemmas and issues portrayed in a video game, because games you normally don't come out of there, and even less games would come out of there tackling this kind of specific sect of Christianity in any way. I've just never seen it before. To me, it's a very new setting for a video game.
So very few video games actually dare to raise such philosophical questions.
Yeah.
Without like not taking any stance on anything and trying to appeal to everyone and just being like some surface flavoring. This game is not flavoring. This game is like, I don't know, indie art house cinema.
Yeah, very much so.
In a video game.
And let's say also that the studio, Odd Meter, that we need to shout out, I don't think they were able to finish this game in Russia. They needed to move to Kazakhstan to actually finish it.
Yes, you are right.
Mm-hmm.
I had forgotten about this. This game was announced in 24. Yeah, and you're right, they had to move to Kazakhstan to finish it.
And I'm pretty sure it was because of, let's say, government, people just not really being particularly happy that they were raising such a hot take, let's say, on religion. I'm very glad that they made it in the end.
There is a quote here on Wikipedia from the game director, Dmitry Svetlov, if that's how to pronounce his name, that after February 24, things were complicated even further. Us staying in Russia became physically scary, and we left because it was psychologically distressing to stay.
Well, I'm glad that they made it in the end. So
I am glad they made it as well. So, yeah, the context for ourselves is that we grew up in a Orthodox Christian country that is very religious and very conservative.
Yeah.
We've not lived there for over a decade now. So I think you have visited Greece more than I have during this time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really in sync with the pulse of the country, so things may have changed. But when I was growing up in Greece in the 90s, I spent a lot of time in a village where my grandparents were from and lived. My own family was quite religious and very strict. And the name of the game, so to speak, was fear.
Yes.
Around religion. And quite early in my life, that didn't really sit well with me. like I was a child that would have nightmares because of the stuff that was taught to me through religion in church, or I was a curious child and read stuff. And I remember thinking, like, this system is kind of weird. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be based on kindness, but it also is all about fucking punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see a lot of hypocrisy around me and the so-called good Christians and how they behaved in a way that is mirrored very much in the game. And not only mirrored in the game, like narratively speaking, but strictly speaking, narratively, because a video game is not just words and images and all that. It's an interactive medium. So this game does some stuff that I think a film, like doing this in a film, wouldn't have worked in the same way, or would have been as effective. I don't want to get into too much detail about this before we get into the spoiler section. All I'm going to say is that this game uses the mechanics and it uses the interactivity of the medium to drive home the points that it's making about the contradictions and the arbitrariness of faith systems.
Arbitrarity,
whatever, yeah. How arbitrary faith systems are and the rules they have by using arbitrary systems of video games to express that.
and personally as well, I did also grow in the same kind of society with you. Of course, different places and slightly different time, but I was the weird kid. I was the one that was just like different things than everyone else. I was grown to be Christian since I was a kid, despite my part of my family.
Perhaps raised, unless you were grown like a plant. That sounds very. I was cultivated.
I was shat on by animals to be raised as a Christian.
So that's how you raised Christian kids in Greece.
Yeah, you throw horse manure on them. That's why
For me, it was more goats.
That's why everyone's traumatized. Anyway,
yeah,
I was raised in a very conservative society. Not all of my family was particularly religious, but I was taught, let's say, up until probably around the age of 10, 11. Like I was not questioning stuff. Like I was not very conscious about it. It was just like there. And then started shifting for me because this place, in a very personal way, similarly to Indika, this place was rejecting me because I was different. I was a bit weird.
Yeah,
I liked music and I liked games and I liked art stuff, and I was not treated the same way. I was rejected, and a lot of this rejection came from religion itself. There was a stigma that I lived through in my town, where my music tastes, because it wasn't skiladica, and it wasn't music that was talking about how horrible women are, or music about how much of a macho dude I am and everything. Like I did not.
We should probably translate that word for anyone who listens.
Okay,
that is in Greek.
For anyone that is unaware of how Greece works and how it stands art-wise, let's say, quote-unquote art-wise, that's not art, that's shit. But the most popular music genre in Greece is something that people call heavy folk music, vari laiko, but derogatorily, we call it skiladiko, which means dog music, because it sounds like dogs howling or something. It's that irritating. However, this is the most popular one, and it is a mixture of sound that is like a copy of a lot of Balkan sounds and Arabic, like Turkish sounds as well, mixed together with a overly melodramatic and woe is me kind of style of lyric, and just the most misogynistic, homophobic, toxic, macho bullshit lyrics that you can imagine. If I'm not throwing any judgment and like, not throwing any judgment, I'm gonna throw judgment at the church itself in Greece, but I'm not holding back from judging fucking dog music. It sucks, and
Yep.
I hated it from the moment I was a child. I hated it, and I did not like football that everyone else liked, and I did not really enjoy myself going every Sunday to church, unlike everyone else. And slowly, I started getting marginalized and more, and I was starting becoming more and more of a kid, to the point that some priests in the island really did not want me to go into the churches.
Really?
I reached a point when I entered my rebel years, right, when I started listening to more rock and metal music, that there was a guy there that was like, "You are banned from this church." And I was like, cool, okay.
Yes.
I did not mind whatsoever. So
it was weird for me because my dad was involved in the church, and I had to go to church every Sunday for the first few years of my life. I think
mass,
similarly around 10 I started questioning things, and also around there is when I discovered heavy metal, and I started slowly rebelling and developing my own identity, but I still didn't have the power to not do what my dad wanted me to do, which is to go to church every Sunday. But because I was slowly changing, like I was starting to grow my hair a bit, and that was a big point of friction and tension and conflict in my family. But not just in my family. If you go to the church in Greece, or at least the church I've seen, the churches I've seen, the experience of going to the church is combined with a lot of fucking judgment.
Oh yeah.
It's a judgment arena. That's why I said earlier, fuck them. I'll judge Christianity and Christians all I want, because that's exactly the game they play.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I
like
absolutely
the clothes you
it.
wear, how you're dressed, how you do the cross. You're supposed to do a cross sign to yourself. Like people, I would hear this, and my family would also judge other people that they're not doing their cross right. They're not good Christians. We're talking about the most petty shit you can imagine.
It's very petty. And it's extremely powerful to see this in a game. All these people that are supposed to be pious and kind and everything to act like horrible, horrible people to a young lady that you later find in the game, without spoiling much, that she had a horrible life.
Yeah, and it wasn't really her choice to be there.
No.
It was a choice, but was it a choice? I don't know. This is something that the game does go into. Like, what is a choice in a system like Christianity?
Yeah, especially like something so dogmatic and strict like Orthodox Christianity. Of course, modern times they're gonna try to show you that, oh, we're kind of progressive now, but the reality is the homophobic and the hateful shit and the racist shit that I have heard going to church, like, they have not changed. It's still there in Greece, at least. We're talking about Greece always from that perspective. I'm not saying all Christians are shit, but what we had experienced was really bad. And I think we have very similar experiences there as well. I grew my hair as well. It was as a first point of rebellion. Rock and metal t-shirts started becoming more and more of a reaction. At some point at age like 14, where like I reached the peak of like frustration with everything, like I was making it a point to wear the most offensive possible t-shirts and go to church just
I
to.
was doing the same thing. Yeah.
So I went to like one day just to annoy everyone, and I think that's why they told us they don't want me there anymore. That I went to church with a t-shirt that have like sixes all around. It was all like a circle of sixes endlessly. I think that was the last straw, and that's probably why they started like not wanting me in there, which I did not contest at all.
Yeah, I was doing similar shit. Like my dad, I don't know if this was a thing in your area, but I'm guessing it would have been, where they bring a priest home to bless the house or something, bless the home.
Yes, yeah. I have a story for that.
And the last few years of my family wanting me present for that, I would wear like black metal band t-shirts, and I had like pentagram medallions and chains and shit, and I would appear there in a very posery way, but I have no shame for this.
My aunt at some point brought a priest in. I must have been like 13 or something. Or well, actually, no, I was older. And they brought one in to her house, and then she came around to our house to also bless us. And the moment the guy started coming towards my house, I started growling. Yeah. And my aunt, great. Bless her heart, I loved my aunt so much. She would be like, no, he's just joking. It's okay. But
because then you run the risk of your entire family being ostracized. And I was going to say exercised, but
oh well.
I did stuff like that at school with a couple of my friends, because priests would come to school as well. My school would do confessions. So the last time I think they let me go to one, the teachers, I went in with another friend of mine to do a joint confession, and we started saying all kinds of crap, and then making growling noises and shit. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, now I would not do this shit, but looking back, like I think it's a valid way of showing frustration with this shit over when we were kids. One of the earliest things that made me really be like, seriously, like this is what this is about. It was when I started growing my hair, and I think I was 11 probably. One of our teachers that was teaching religion, basically, which in Greece they don't teach you religion, they teach you Orthodox Christianity and why all other religions are wrong.
Yeah, it's supposed to be religious studies, but it's not.
It's really not. Like, it's literally like you go through an entire book of teaching you the Christian dogma and why it's right, and then in the last pages of the book, which gets revised for every single year, just you study the same stuff and it's the same structure. The last few pages of the book, it gives 2 pages for each religion each, and an explanation of why it's bullshit compared to Orthodox Christianity. When I started growing my hair, the lady that was teaching us religious studies, who was a nun,
hardcore,
very hardcore, she came and told me that, you cannot grow your hair because if you start like waving them around, people will think you're an F word, and no one wants that. You'd rather have cancer than be that.
What the fuck?
And I think it was like a moment that I was, something's off here. This cannot be right.
The thing that always seemed ironic to me with this, isn't like Jesus depicted with long hair in most of the iconography?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Half the priests in Greece, I think, have long hair.
Yeah, they do. Because they're something against, I don't know, shaving. I don't care.
I don't know.
They're too busy keeping their money for all the golden crosses rather than go to the barber. Anyway, I don't judge people with long hair, I judge them. Cool. So,
This probably gives you enough context here.
and also gives a good example of why we resonated with this so much and why this made sense. Like, we, similar to the people that made this game, come from a system of oppression. So, in matters of themes, one of the things that this game starts doing early on is throwing a lot of magical realism at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the world is distorted in a way that is not quite fantasy, but it's really not normal. For example, you have the voice in your head when you are about to get the Holy Communion, and the Indika is kneeling and is about to get the body and the blood of Christ and everything. And I think this was one of the first moments that the game goes wacky. She looks at the head nun, and the head nun just like winks, opens her mouth, and a tiny version of herself in a night dress, or a toddler's kind of sleeping dress or whatever, comes out with beating music.
No, I think it's a nightgown for that era.
For a nightgown? Yeah, it comes out and starts dancing on her shoulder and everything, and Indika gets like startled and like throws things down, and people hate her and stuff.
Again, this stuff is really, really early on. This is like the first 15
we're
minutes.
We're not spoiling anything right now. It is the
game opens with something that is like that. Like the first scene of the game is kind of mixing this fantasy with reality stuff that sets the stage for Indika being weird and how she's seen as weird and very begrudgingly tolerated by the rest of the nuns.
The animals in this game are huge.
Yeah, what's up with the giant animals? I mean, giant, they're disproportionately large to the humans.
I think that in a similar way that you said that animals are seen as filthy, it is kind of a perspective thing. Like, they look more intimidating from the perspective of a person that has grown to fear them or feel weird about them. So I feel like I'm not sure what's meant to be.
Actually, yes, because I think we just see the animals from the point of view of Indika.
Yes, only.
Not other people.
And no other person acknowledges how big they are.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty clever. All right.
Okay, let's move to some mechanics and how the game actually is. Other than moving from place to place, doing, as we said, some chasing sequences, light, or some puzzles that are light, the game also has a leveling up system. And you get experience by doing holy deeds. And holy deeds could be anything like lighting up a lantern next to the picture of a saint, or doing a little prayer, or something like that.
Yeah, one of the shoulder buttons, you hold it to pray.
Yeah, to pray. And praying at times distorts reality.
Yes.
It almost silences the voices that you have in your head. When moments get very intense and you're questioning the religion too much, you can start praying, and it silences them, and the world stops coming apart.
Yeah, and she has some kind of cross that she squeezes in her hand. That you see throughout the game the physical impact of the faith rules, if you will, of that system. Is not just psychological.
Yeah.
So through that distortion, the game also does puzzling.
Also, with the points that you get from doing holy deeds, you level up.
What do you level up in this game?
So, you can choose where to spend your leveling up points, and they're all about getting more points. Which sounds weird. As I'm saying right now, it sounds weird, but you can choose like to...
And you don't start at level 0 with the game, you're already at level 8 or something?
Yeah, which means like you've already done a little bit of the work or whatever. And you make choices as you level up between different, let's say, skill, like a very arbitrary
Perks?
skill tree, and the
Yeah.
names of the skills that you pick are like regret or guilt or shame or repentance, and each one of them either gives you a lot of points now, or it gives you a multiplier for points to get in the future.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if you know, in loading screens and stuff, the game tells you that these are pointless. Like, it literally tells you, don't bother collecting any points. They're pointless.
And then occasionally you lose them with stuff you do.
Yeah, with things that may happen in
Yeah.
the story or whatever. So, thematically, strong. Very strong
Mhm.
there.
And there are a lot of opportunities to do that in the game, and it's an interesting thing here because it's what I said earlier. Like this wouldn't work if not for an interactive medium, because it plays on what we're used to do in video games.
Mm-hmm.
How we kind of unquestioningly do some stuff because points go up,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't really mean anything. But it means something to us,
Yeah.
for some reason.
And yeah, you will think like, what? When I was first playing it, I thought it was just like the points to get to heaven kind of like idea,
Mm.
and clearly the character is kind of questioning them. But
I don't know if that's what they are, though. Like,
I
there's no indication or implication that that is what you're doing.
well, they're meant to be holy points. You get them when you do holy deeds, right?
Yes.
So I would guess at least it's her kind of seeing it as her leveling up her game to eventually become the head nun or whatever.
Being a better Christian, I suppose.
I guess, yeah.
Yes, I do. I have a story here that's really funny for this. Like, for holidays, often with my family when I was a child, we would go to monasteries.
Oh, Jesus.
Or, like, visit monasteries anyway. Yeah, yeah.
I have a story. I have a story on that as well, but I'll save it for later.
And so my dad would generally wouldn't buy me stuff if I asked for stuff for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he thought was something worth getting or something. So how I had figured out kind of gaming this a little bit was if we went to a monastery, I wanted to buy as many little icons and trinkets and shit as possible because the nuns would guilt him into buying them for me.
Okay.
Like, it would be like, I want this, and you can't, no, we can't get this. And then I would kind of complain a bit, and the whatever nun was there would be like, oh, take it for the kids. Like, it's a good thing. He's asking for a thing, for a religious thing. And then he would feel bad for not doing that. To not appear bad, like, to not, be judged by a nun, I suppose.
Okay. So what did you want these?
Nothing. Like, just to
be a little shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was, I suppose, at that point, like, when I was really young, obviously I was indoctrinated in this, and I wanted to have like a wee icon of my name saint or whatever. But when I started like doubting things, and then I noticed this pattern with my dad, like if we went to a monastery, I could ask him to buy me things, and then he would feel bad for not doing that because it wouldn't look good in the eyes of God or the nun. I'm like, well, fucker, I got you now.
It's a real power play.
Well, I had to try things to get some power, I guess.
Yeah, I get it. We have to do what we have to do to get our icons. Yeah, sure. That cool.
But I can't remember if I had crosses or what, but it was usually like icons and like little medallions.
See,
and
I
shit,
thought you were
and-
gonna tell me you were getting crosses and like hanging them upside down or whatever, or something like that. But no, it wasn't.
No, I was still quite young. This I think was
okay.
this. I'm talking about around the age of 12.
Okay. Cool. So I think we're slowly gonna wrap up the non-spoiler talk. We are talking about a game that is about questioning your faith and growing to be disillusioned about what you have been taught since you were growing up. It is heavy. It is thematically poignant and dramatic, maybe?
And at the same time manages to be quite humorous.
Yes, there's a lot of humor until there isn't, but spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Like he knows when to be serious,
yeah.
but there is a lot of brevity as well in it.
Yeah. And it is in my most memorable experiences of a while. And I will certainly certainly be checking out what Oddmeter do in the future. I really hope they continue. They have made something that is unlike anything I've ever played before, and crosses over to like big, ambitious art house cinema levels for me. Like, and touches on themes that just games are, as you said, like too afraid to touch. And I want this boldness. I want this risk to be taken when people make stuff.
And it is still a video game without feeling forced as a video game in the ways, as we were saying earlier, stuff like Deliver Us the Moon and Deliver Us Mars do.
Yeah.
Often video games struggle to do what this game does thematically on various levels and be video games at the same time without the two feeling kind of disjointed. This one manages to to merge that in a way that is meaningful and thematically cohesive, which I think is worth the praise and is worth the highlighting, and I think it's worth people looking into it. If anyone expects or hopes more from video games, this is it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Major recommendation. That's all. Time for non-spoiler people to go away. Go away now.
So thank you everyone for checking this episode out.
Go away.
I hope you found something
I don't
here
thank
that
you. If you're leaving now, I don't thank you. Bye.
It's okay. You have my thanks. You don't have Space Otter's thanks.
Right. Okay. Spoiler talk.
Do dogs have souls?
I was so later in the game, after you meet the war soldier kind of criminal guy, you enter a mill and a dog chases you, and the dog is huge and looks very scary. And the dog dies during the chase, and Indika starts questioning whether the dogs have souls. And I think it was the moment also I started realizing why the animals were so big, because their animals are like strange and intimidating and weird to her, because she has monsters. They're monsters. Yeah. And I don't know, when she asks that, I started like, I think it was also one of the first moments that she starts seeing the arbitrarity of all the rules that there are there, and what is the meaning, what does it mean to have a soul. It was a weirdly somber moment after like a big scary chasing.
It's also where it becomes very apparent that juxtaposition between these two characters. Well, she is the nun who talks to the devil or thinks talks to the devil, and the other guy is the criminal who thinks talks to the god, to God.
The voice is the devil, and the criminal believes he talks to God. Yeah.
Yeah. And his response to that is, of course not. They're animals. They don't have souls.
Yeah.
And then a conversation ensues of her basically like a curious idiot going, so what does that mean? Like, what makes it unique for humans or something? And I think he said something along the lines that dogs cannot love. You need a soul to love or something.
Yeah. And Indika questions like, so if you love, you have a soul. But dogs do love, like they love their owners, they love their family. Does that mean they have souls? So
yes, and then that conversation keeps carrying on for a bit, and then it turns into her basically questioning, or rather discovering more so her own sexuality, with like an internal dialogue of what is the point of love without bodies. I mean, I don't remember exactly the conversation now to kind of verbatim quote it, but it was that whole conversation and questioning about souls and love and stuff like that and bodies leads into a lot of questions that the soldier, does not really have answers for. He's just repeating the dogmatic positions of the religion back to her, and her going, yeah, but like, what about this case? And what if that's the case? And he's like, that's just not it. That's just how things are.
Yeah, that's like an unwillingness to humor her even. And it continues like that. This guy, this character, despite kind of sexually awakening Indika herself, like nothing really happens between them, but you can see that
nothing could have happened between them in terms of actual contact, because there is an important factor to consider here, that this guy has a gangrenous arm.
Oh yeah, who he refuses to allow Indika to look after or take care of or do anything at all.
Yeah, he's rejecting any basically medical help
because he's convinced that no one else needs to look after it but God.
Yeah, because God has told him through the cup that he drinks water out of, that he needs to travel to the temple of John of Damascus to see a holy relic known as the Kudets, which he believes will fix his arm.
Yeah.
So if he does anything to help himself medically, that undermines his faith in God, and God will not actually help him.
To the point that it reaches a moment that he literally is fainting.
Because
he's about to die.
He's in real risk of sepsis, basically, at that point.
I think he is in sepsis to an extent, and I don't know if we don't know his fate at the end, other than what happened. We're going to talk about the ending in general, but I think he was far gone by that moment. And Indika just decides to amputate him, to just give him a chance of survival. And that is the final straw for him. He cuts ties with Indika. He's like, I don't want you to be around anymore. You went against God, and he would have died. Which to me, it's quite important as a moment, because in reality, when I try to convince people that maybe not everything you believe in is right, and you should not be taking everything in kind, you should not be 100% unshakable when it comes to stuff. Like, you need to question, and you need to try and evolve as a human being. I find so much resistance from these groups in general.
Yeah. It was also interesting in that moment that, so you go through the game and you like light candles here and there, and you get points, and you do your cross and you get points, and you pray and you get points. But when she actually saves someone's life, she gets no points.
She got nothing, yeah.
She also doesn't lose any.
Yeah.
The way I took that to be, because when she ends up losing points is when like they're puzzling sections in that magical realism that you said, that when you pray, it changes your perception of reality, and then she can get through some environmental puzzles. And then through that puzzling, the voice in her head becomes more and more intense. So there are kind of moments of crisis in a way for her and her religion and her faith and her philosophy of life, really. And then she loses a bunch of points when she gets through it. So every time she resolves a crisis for herself, she loses points. But at that point, she does something real. This is not in an arbitrary fucking system about we do this bit and then we do that bit, and that shows you're good and that shows you're bad. She saves someone's fucking life. That's the real thing.
Yeah.
That system is irrelevant to that.
Yeah.
And he basically like wakes up and insults her and leaves.
Yeah.
With his arm, the rotting arm in his
The
bag.
rotting arm with a cup stuck on it.
I think he threw the cup away at that point because he believed, I think, at that point that she denied him the miracle from God, and
Yeah. He still keeps going for the Codettes, so
he told her that God had stopped talking to him since they started traveling together, so that was all her fault. Yeah, and he in his huff and puff, like he also like I threw away his cup or something.
Maybe I don't remember that part.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure on this, but I remember that she picks up, I think, the cup with a sense of sadness at that point for him.
And I think it is important to mention a little bit like the set pieces that there are like around the place. I do not want to mention the style so much, as it is very interesting. It is very art housey, but the whole like setup of the towns and the buildings are all messed up. The proportions are wrong. They're sideways and they're falling apart, or they're not.
Yeah.
They're at the mill at some point, and the mill is all gears and it's endless and too huge. And
you go through some fish,
the fish factory, the
drying facility at some point.
The tin factory, right? The cannery.
Yeah.
And like the fish are too huge and they're endless, and like there's literally a catfish that is the size of a blue whale, like hanging upside down. Like the environments are so intimidating, and all of this, like, the world to this person is scary and odd. And you're out there to deliver a letter. But what is that letter in the end?
I think it was a letter like expelling her from the monastery, wasn't it?
Basically, from what I gathered, they made the letter knowing that she will read it, telling her the doors are not going to open again for you.
Yeah.
The kind people that are meant to help other people in crisis, throwing away a girl at a world that's clearly fucked up. Because like you go out, you meet a crazy guy that's in a gunfight. The first person you meet is about to sexually assault a lady. Like, the world they send you out to fend for yourself, to send Indika to fend for herself is like awful. And they don't give a crap just because she's clumsy or young.
Yeah, they don't like her, so it's like, fuck you, go out and die.
Yeah.
We don't care about you.
It's harsh and tragic, and when she reads the letter, like, this is the moment where she starts becoming desperate for things to return to normal.
Yeah, and like there's another conversation that happens between the two of them before all that happens, or I think they meet up again. No, that was before. Okay, anyway, in the cannery about choice and relationships and power dynamics, and whether in a system where you have very little power, and if you don't do what is expected of you, the punishment of death and suffering hangs over your head. How can anything be real in that sense of what you choose? Like, can anyone love God if in the case of you not loving God, you go to hell? And it's amazing to me how it's great how they portray the guard so completely blind to this, that Indika is trying to explore at that point and challenge as a system. Like, if you have a tsar, or however you pronounce it, or a king, and they take liking to some girl, and they invite her, and he invites her to dinner, but if she doesn't go, he'll kill her family. What is the choice there?
And that's what happens to Indika.
Yeah.
So her past basically is explored via a 2D either platforming section or like a top-down, again, 2D racing section. It is
Yeah,
a
it had
very
some
strange
weird
way
stuff,
of
yeah.
exploring the game. But
It looks like, I guess, Super Nintendo style games.
maybe
Yeah.
a bit more defined, I would say. It's a very good pixel art.
Aesthetically,
Yeah.
at least, yeah.
And basically you learn that she was asked by a Tsar, but she was in love with a young traveling boy, like a Romani person. But of course, being with a Romani, it's horrible, it's bad. And her dad shoots the guy with a fucking shotgun.
Yes, they were planning to run away and steal money from her dad to fund their runaway, but then
he catches them.
And the way it's portrayed is like she has a chance to save him and she doesn't take it. And and then her dad shoots and kills the boy. And that's the thing that's weighing on her and makes her believe within that faith system as well and morality system that she is actually bad.
Yeah. And starts believing that the person that's talking to her, it's not just her thoughts, but it's Satan.
But what was the real choice that she actually had at that point?
She did not have a choice. Like, going to the monastery was the only way for her to not marry a person and not getting her family killed. Also,
she couldn't really have saved the boy in that encounter. That's what I got from that. Like, she blamed herself. She believed that she had the chance to save him and she didn't take it, therefore she is bad. But that wasn't a real choice for her.
No, I don't believe it was a real choice. I think the only thing that would happen if she tried to defend it was the result would be the same, but she would also have the hate of her father.
She would probably be punished and abused way worse as a result. Probably. Yeah.
It's an awful life. Only to be thrown away by the people that were supposed to help
and love
love her, like unconditionally. You know, to turn the other cheek, kind of thing. Like when she did not even slap the first cheek.
And then I don't know. They eventually get to the temple.
They do get to the temple,
and they reunite with the soldier. And he prays to the cadets.
After a complication with a priest.
Yes.
Yeah, like they try to go and pray to the cadets, but the priest of the local temple basically goes nuts. Doesn't let them. And
it's like it's too late, blah blah. Yeah. You need to come back or whatever. And she I think she explained that he's a prisoner.
Oh, yeah. She mentions that he's a prisoner and he calls the guards. And while they fight, one of the guards accidentally shoots the priest, but they blame them. Like,
and then the guard goes like ballistic, like he panics about the sin that he committed by killing a priest, and
So so the guy prays, nothing happens. And then?
Then he steals the thing and escapes, and Indika gets arrested and put in a cell. And then she has a bit of a dissociative experience with her devil voice.
Who starts getting an actual, like, visual representation.
Yes.
Very interesting design, I will say.
Very interesting design, and also it's a very interesting, like,
scene.
That's where the climax of of all the themes comes together at that point, because how to put this, she has this dissociation while she offers herself up to the guard in exchange for her freedom,
where you lose all your points.
Well, you lose all your points, and then the devil takes over. So to allow her to escape, because she has to do certain things to do that, to survive, that are considered, from her point of view of her faith and morality, are considered like unacceptable sins. What was her choice in that?
I don't know. Rot in a cell?
She was going to be executed the next day.
It's heavy.
She manages to escape. She wanders around the town, finds the soldier who has completely given up and, I don't know, is drunk and pissing himself, who tells her that he sold the cadets at a pawn shop for a trumpet.
And they go back to the pawn shop. She goes to the pawn shop to get the cadets, and she doesn't have money to get it, but the guy comes in with a trumpet because it's defective or whatever, and they have a fight, and in that moment Indika finds the chance to take the cadets, which is literally like she picks it up, turns it around, and it's hollow in the bottom. It's not like it's like a pyramid thing.
She didn't do that first. You take it and you shake it, and as you shake it, points come out of it, and your points start going up, and you can keep shaking it
for as long as you want, and you keep leveling
for
up
as long as you want,
and like you keep getting the points. And if you look at you're shaking it in front of a mirror.
If you stop shaking it, then she looks into the mirror and she sees that she's the devil.
Like she has turned to the devil itself. Yeah.
And then when
you decide to stop.
She opens it up and looks that it's empty.
Yeah.
And at that point her reflection returns to normal, and it's her.
Yeah. She reaches a point that she has accepted that it's all pointless, it's all stupid.
Yeah, that's the point where I think her faith is completely broken at that point, and I think that her prayer beads, like fall on the floor, and that's it.
That's it.
The game ends.
She just walks out. That ending haunted me. It really haunted me. Like it's still it's hammered, frozen way deep in my brain, and I don't think it will leave. It's dark, it's depressing, and it's fitting. It's really fitting. It's really fitting also thinking back to when I was young, when I had this revelation as well, younger than I was in Indika, and thankfully that was probably because of the time that I was born. I had the tools to escape it. You know, I read, I listened to music, like it allowed me to evolve. But it's a crushing realization that you are alone in this. You're surrounded by people that are not going to be out looking for your your better, let's say, interest or your safety. They're really out for themselves. It is a ugly place, and a system that kind of pins people against each other.
Also for Indika at that point, at that time, it's even harder in some ways, because we see throughout the game how women are treated by everyone.
Oh yeah, of course.
And being a nun, in a way, offers some degree of protection or armor against it. Even being in the monastery, for her at the time when she made but didn't really make that choice, that was the best she could do, because the alternative was way, way worse. And at the moment where that is stripped of her because she helped a prisoner or whatever, she is raped and put up for execution.
Yeah.
So not only does she lost this magical system that promised some existential safety, but there is no safety in anything now. There's no comfort in anything. There's nothing to kind of tell you things are going to be right. Someone else is looking out for you.
Yeah, it is a system forced upon people with fear. And it's, I believe we're in a point that it's a little bit more progressive, but that is lingering. People are still living with this mindset and this constant fear.
And it's not that there aren't any, like, I don't know, humanistic elements in this religion. And I'm not going to talk about other religions because this is the one that we grew up with and familiar with.
Yeah,
and
we are familiar with Orthodox Christianity.
We
This
can
is
talk
what I'm
about it.
talking about,
I was thinking earlier today about one of my favorite Candlemas songs from the second album called The Samaritan. And how sometimes I'm conflicted about how much I love this song because there is this part of me that is completely rejecting of this religion. And I don't vibe with that part of that. Like Candlemas are very much a Christian band in a way. I don't know how familiar you are with them.
I really like the first album.
Yeah, it's not so much in the first album, or even the first album has a song about the three wise men taking going to baby Jesus. But anyway, so it's a weird band in that thematically. But the Samaritan also, the story of that is something I can 100% back if we strip the religious part out of it.
Yeah,
which is what? Be good to people, help people in need.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That's not what anyone in this game, in this setting, and in my experience, generally does.
Yeah.
Who proclaims to be a good Christian. Like my dad would, for example, like there were, Greece has a lot of beggars in the street, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people begging.
And now England has a lot of beggars too, so.
Yeah, because it's a poor country and a lot of people are homeless and like it's fucked up. And he would react so negatively and with contempt towards them, like full-on victim blaming. And it's like, isn't your religion supposed to be about like helping the poor? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, on my experience as well, I would know a lot of people in my family that would see people that were on the street on drugs or even, off color, that they were trying to make some money by doing small jobs on the street, like trying to sell bracelets or fake CDs, and they were horribly like not mistreating them, but like avoiding them like the plague. And that's the reality. That's the reality that we lived in. It's a dark one. Sorry for getting too serious.
I can understand, again, from the point of view of having empathy for Indika, the psychological need for something to stave off the existential terror of what our life is.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we are mortal. Like, it's really hard to contend with the fact that we know we are going to die. And a way that people generally tend to cope with this is through religion, because it gives them the reassurance that it's not the end. There's something after this, and also my loved ones have not disappeared and become like warm meal. They're somewhere. And this whole lighting the candle next to graves and has a bit of that, like that can be like an act of connection and an expression of love for the person that you've lost. But when you come across someone in the game doing this, and Indika very naively asks her, like it's some old woman at her husband's grave lighting a candle, was he good? Did you love him? It's like, no, he was terrible. It's like, like she says something, you must have loved him. It's like, no, I didn't. Why are you here lighting this candle? Like, why are you kneeling next to the grave doing what? It's like theater.
Because you have to.
Because you have to. Yeah.
And look, you can. I'm not saying, and I will not say that there is not a healthy way of practicing a religion and believing in something and everything, but what I'm really trying to hammer down, that this is really our reality, and that's what we've seen. It's our experience.
Yeah, this is what we experience. This is what we grew up with. This this is why this game resonates so much with us.
Yeah. And if you care to see a slice of culture from somewhere that's not really portrayed in video games much, this is a great example. It's very challenging. I'm not saying that everyone's going to play this and love it or get it, but at the same time, I feel like art that divides and is very divisive usually is interesting as well. And this is certainly it. I personally love it. It spoke to me. I cannot stop thinking about this game since I played it. It is in my favorites of all time, probably. I don't know, rank wise. It's maybe one day we'll rank shit. I don't know, but it's there, and
maybe one day we'll rank shit.
Yeah, heavy one, very heavy one.
Yeah.
Very, very heavy one.
There was one funny thing in the game that you put here in the notes that I had forgotten about, which is, so you come across a lot of religious icons and they have lanterns next to them and candles, and you go and light them and you get holy points. There was at some point a lantern next to a Marx poster, and that did not give you any points when you lit it.
Yeah. No love for Marx.
Yeah.
But as we end the episode, I wanted to bring up an anecdote from my youths as well regarding to visiting a monastery. Mm-hmm. So when I think I must have been 5 or 6, very young, too young. A friend of my mom's and her kid took us to a monastery to go and pray or whatever. There was a festival of a saint there. And as they take me into the monastery and I entered in, I'm surrounded by these like grim, dark, fucking weird paintings of a guy being turned upside down and chopped up and their head cut off in like really graphic depiction. And I was just looking at them as a child, being like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this? What am I looking at?
What the fuck were you looking at?
And all this ending, like, it was like in a big chamber. And like, I remember there were like hundreds of people in there that day. And everyone was like queuing up to go up to some sort of like a VOMOS altar and everyone was like queuing up to go to some sort of altar. And as I was going closer and closer, I started seeing what was on the altar, and it was human bones. It was a skull.
Oh yes,
it was a skull.
They have that shit. Yeah,
and it was a skull and a hand, the stripped skeleton of a hand with the rings on it. And women and people were like bowing down and kissing the skull. I was a child.
Yeah, now that you're saying this reminds me of a similar thing with me. I think there's an island as well in Greece with a monastery where they have the remains of some saint and they put some slippers on him. And apparently the story goes that you can hear him walk around the island in the night to keep it safe, and the slippers get worn out during the year or some shit.
I was like too young for this, and I learned what death was.
It's kind of traumatic, really, the way this stuff is shoved in your face as a kid.
I never wanted to see a skull, let alone a skull that was like not in a museum setting, being kissed by people. My brain could not compute it. Like, I had nightmares for weeks.
Yeah.
It was really fucked up. It was really, really messed up. Like, I don't know what they were thinking, taking two very young children there. Weird. Like,
They thought they were doing a good deed for holy points.
sure, good deed for holy points, but we're considered Western civilization, and people
kinda
consider us like more progressive. But holy shit, we are so far behind. This is medieval shit.
Greece is a weird country. Like, yes, a lot of Greeks see Greece and see themselves as part of the Western world, but in my opinion, it's closer to. It's a Balkan country that is very much
Stuck in the past.
stuck in the past, and has a lot of Eastern traditions as well in there because of the Ottoman history, shared history, if you will, occupation, one might call it.
Yeah, that was just for 100 years or whatever.
Yeah. So a lot of things have rubbed off.
Food-wise, a lot.
Food-wise, a lot, and I'm like, I'll embrace the food. Like,
yeah,
food is great.
We suck as people. We're great at food.
But there's a lot of shit, like, and some of it is like that, and some of it is like how hardcore Orthodox Christianity is with some shit.
It's really fucking hardcore. So metal.
Yeah.
That's why I love the band Patriarch, because
I need to check that out. I think you sent me a video of them last year, and my partner saw it, and she was like, "What the fuck is this? Is this real?" And we're both like, "Yeah, that's kind of how Orthodox priests look like."
Yeah. Haunting.
She's been scared to go to Greece since.
That said, the younger people my age, maybe a bit older as well, and younger, they're starting to slowly get out of this rut. It is still there. Like, there's still a lot of resistance, especially with the world moving forward, and in the majority of the world, gay people are starting to be accepted and more strange for them people or genders start becoming more mainstream. Like, the resistance is real.
In Greece, you mean?
In Greece, yes.
Okay.
Like, people, like, it's very recent that I've seen people in Greece actually going by their preferred gender and not what they've been assigned to, and the kickback is nuts.
You mean on a cultural level, not on a state level? Because from what I understand, there's nothing in terms of legislation that recognizes this in Greece.
In Greece, no, there's no legislation that recognizes it, but at the same time, on a state level, they're not allowed to discriminate because we're under the European Union.
That doesn't stop Greece doing a lot of shit that then they just get fined by the European Union. But
they will do, but they don't. That stops them from creating concentration camps.
Sure, okay, yeah.
So it's something, I guess, but I see like younger people at least starting to change, which is good. But the resistance is real, like on a cultural level, on a religious level, and some letters and teachings that come out of Greek churches are horrible.
I mean, I when it comes to this, sometimes I still think of that bishop or whatever the fuck he was that was doing a sermon during Easter and was wishing people cancer if they didn't observe was it Lent? Is it called?
Oh, then I have many cancers.
Something like that. He was saying like if you eat meat during the lead up to Easter, may it rot in your stomach and shit like that. And it was so fucking hateful and angry. These other people are supposed to be like preaching love and compassion.
But anyway, I remember that in 2013, 14, the European Union tried to pass a law that banned racist like language and behaviors. that basically made being racist illegal, make discrimination illegal. Don't remember if it passed or not. I think it didn't, unfortunately. But when it was announced, the local church close to my grandma's house started ringing the bells in the funeral rhythm.
Okay.
Like, the slow, melancholic rhythm that you hear at funerals.
Fucking
as
hell.
protest. This is our reality. This is like...
Protest of fucking what? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you grieving for here? Not being able to be fucking piece of shit of human being to other humans? Is that the thing?
Yeah. And that's what we grew up with. So
okay.
I think
yeah.
Okay. We can wrap this up here. I think this was a culturally rich episode.
Culturally fraught as well.
Yeah. I think it's something that we probably will not delve into again, because I don't think that games will do this again.
I hope there are more games like this.
I hope so.
That we come across.
I hope so. But I feel like it's too daring. And if we're talking about, let me repeat myself, capitalism shit. So if you try to make as broad strokes as possible, to include as many people as possible in the piece of shit, whatever generic bullshit you're making, I don't feel that they're going to take the chances like they did with this one.
This is not going to come out of the AAA area in video games. This was a small indie that amazingly looked
fantastic,
pretty good. Yeah, that's the thing that I appreciated with is like often you find experiences like this in small indie games, but they look like the past sections in this game.
Yeah,
like 2D pixel art. Not that I have anything against them, but I do like sensory immersion in video games.
I love a good pixel art, and they did a fantastic job here with it as well. I think everyone went above and beyond in this game. They created something unique. I love it endlessly, and I will always love this game. And it's not for everyone,
clearly, and I can totally see how some people will be offended and shocked and angry at this, because it will ask questions that they are uncomfortable with.
And I have a feeling that people are going to be potentially shocked and offended by our episodes. And
well, whatever.
And it's fair, but it does not change how we feel, what our experiences were, and the fact that I want to make genuine, real discussions. And
same.
I'm not going to hide that my experience with Orthodox religion was tainted and bad.
Yeah. As I said, as you said at the beginning, let's not be too judgmental. I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, this is punching up to an oppressive system that has terrorized us for the first several years of our lives, and probably caused a lot of psychological baggage and shit for us to go through and process and try to get over in years of therapy. So
different reasons, but
for me it's a little bit intertwined, but yeah.
Maybe to correct myself there, semi-correct myself, or like just to explain myself more. What I meant is not I don't want to judge the system. I don't want to judge all the individuals and treat every single person that practices religion the same. Because I don't think every single person is going to be a shithead. I actually think most people are not shitheads. Maybe they're misled at times, but I don't believe people are shitheads. I just don't want people to think I hate them because of this, but I do hate the system that we have been born in and we have been forced to obey. That's what I meant. So yeah.
And again, we're speaking to our experience here. Like, if I had been treated well by certain people, I would say that.
Yeah.
But
Oh my! Look, my aunt mentioned her before. She was super religious, like so religious, crazy religious. Like every single thing you were doing, she would like cross you and like do the whole like superstitious thing and like pray and everything. She was the kindest, most like nice lady that you could hang around with. Like endless love for everyone, no matter if they were of Greek or not Greek or straight or gay or whatever. She did not care. She loved people, like really loved. And there are people
good for
like
her.
that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people like that. And I am happy that despite this darkness, people are still able to take the good thing of religion, which is to make themselves deal with our existence and the pains of it, but also like maintain a kindness and an empathy for everyone else. So yeah, heavy one.
Yeah, thinking of the people that I got kindness from, they tended to be atheists. So it has certainly, from a very young age, painted the world a certain way for me. But yeah, I agree with you. Like we can't like make broad stroke assumptions here about everyone. That's not the case. That's not what we're doing.
And I mean, since there, of
we're
course, also
judging the system. We're judging the institution of church specifically in Greece, and speaking to what I have seen around me a lot and experienced. Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
No,
and it's scarred me.
Yeah, I think there are several things in me that it took me a while to shake off. The guilt, like the guilt that you live with everything, like every single thing you do is bad. It's bad. Oh, you ate? It's bad. Did you have sex? Oh, very bad.
Did you have a thought or a feeling? That's bad.
That's bad too.
If you want to wonder how one gets OCD.
Well,
anyway,
we would like to thank everyone that has helped us make this happen. We'd like to thank you for sticking through this entire discussion. I know it was probably our heaviest one, and probably it's going to be the heaviest one we have for a while. But thank you for being here with us and for listening to us. And thank you everyone who helped us as well. Said that as well. You know who you are.
You haven't thanked the most important person to thank here.
Bepis?
Yes.
So, to end in a good note, Bepis, within the span of 3 days, puked a massive hairball on the floor and took a shit on the floor.
How is that positive?
Good question.
What was he trying to communicate?
Well, the took a shit on the floor was actually like he had eaten like a hair and he pooped. And as he went out, he dragged along a poop with him.
Oh,
in the room.
Fair enough.
And the puke was, he had a big hairball.
Okay, he wasn't trying to communicate anything.
No, he was fine, other than the hairball.
It comes with licking yourself clean for hours every day, so...
Yeah.
All right, bye everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
Don't sin.
In love and memory of Benny Harvey.